Usafo ya mamu nyina jo don't do abo kasebo twato demo nyina na yede ebeso mo semufa so ne so ede amaya yede beso mo edon ne bremu be show nyumakom yensa na so ya sana de kasebo eba this way chocolate drink do here any so share enyumere wadru fie na wo hwe na mpese ubedi dia me show me kamfo this way chocolate drink ede amawo ahondindro ahyemu ma obobobia enyumere oda ona be yoda obesho anopa no no nya hoden foforo kra e de ko nyuma so special ice mineral water in so to a bribi ponim e de afam fidi manu crogen na otwe e obeshefa obeba be shraw nso ade besum omo special ice mineral water need fufu need abenkwan and I make am for more omama fufu any abenkwan ye aye simple send me komi en say and aso ya snack asebo e de bremu no omudi mutintima and so the Bramono di dimu akotene any business say
UN General Assembly guso koso e America na Ghana mampani akoda Accra reset dwumadino edi
Ghana mampani abedi etre edi atudwa se ene aban nhyehyɛ bi a eba efa ye humasu ho no omasom ombeboa amana ye adwuma
sanso na Ghana ban ene US aban no akontiase apan bi a wode eya dehye a wapon wa free America no eba oman emu na ononyafo Samuel Abuginapo ekyerese enam emrakwan so
adwumayefo a eye adwuma ewo keteke bia ye edi atudwa se ombosumi aketua bi a akam omde oye kyere ehyehyɛ so tin se omotai omachi
na ene yebedi enkomo bambo ho enkomo ne yebedi aposifo kyese nipa bonfo dubi akonfo renfo omrebo banks no womo achio ena fei ekwan a US fo ene oman Ghana asante asiapamo a se wom pam obi fi oman mu a wom de ba Ghana yin ho nkomo ana ye ba beti
ye na ye soma nwumre eyeme Kwame Owusu Eduomimene
David Ofori Safo abeyebo awura ensem no emo United Nations General Assembly eguso koso ewo America abrochiman no emo na Ghana mampeni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama kopiemu udwadi no ase na wakasa adadwadi bi adin watudin Accra Reset ho na mampani John Dramani Mahama hele tu wiase nyina nim se ebredu se ebetimi ahyehye bibia foforo na empuntuo akoso o wiase afa na nyina.
To heal our health systems, we must first reset development itself. Excellencies, we meet here in New York at a time of increasing global uncertainty. Humanity has made progress once unimaginable. In 1990, 36% of the world lived in extreme poverty. By 2019, that figure had fallen to 8%. Global life expectancy has risen by nearly a decade in just one generation. Maternal mortality has declined by a third since the year 2000. In global health, since 2000 alone, more than 50 million lives have been saved through expanded access to vaccines, HIV treatment, and malaria prevention. The Global Fund and Gavi, born out of a new development consensus 2 decades ago, have provided life-saving tools to billions of the world's population. This progress deserves recognition. It reminds us of what becomes possible when global solidarity rises to meet global challenges. And yet, even as we celebrate these gains, the cracks in the global order are growing deeper. The question that agitates our mind is, how do we sustain these gains in the face of current global shifts? The COVID-19 pandemic erased 2 decades of poverty reduction in less than 2 years. Climate change has driven nearly 735 million people back into chronic hunger. Almost 1 in 10 of the world's population is facing chronic hunger. Developing countries now spend more on servicing external death than they do on healthcare and education combined. Africa's external debt stock alone exceeds $1 trillion in 2023, with debt service consuming nearly 1/5 of government revenues in many African countries. The MDGs and SDGs have been the lodestar of global ambition. The MDGs lifted over 1 billion people out of poverty. The SDGs galvanized unprecedented cooperation. However, the UN's own 2023 report indicates that fewer than half of the 169 SDG targets are on track. In health, in inequality, and in fiscal resilience, the situation is particularly dire. The temptation will be to prepare another catalog of partnership global targeting. ODA is declining, and there's reportedly an overall 40% reduction in worldwide humanitarian assistance.
Ghana Mampenya Bediche Professor Jane Nana Opoku Agyeman or the atudwa se aban ebefoa nhihye bia ebeba amaye nwomesua etimi etumpon or the same way nyina atudwa enne abra obo na wakasa ebo anan ekọ soafo a ono na hwe yen adusua so Honorable Haruna Idrisu.
In terms of the new universities and so on, we made that promise in our manifesto and we are going to operationalize them. Our interest is not only the numbers, it's also to ensure that we can diversify the tertiary space and fill them. And you can see that is why we did the Eastern University the way we did. And that is also part of the reason why we raised the status of the polytechnics to technical universities. It wasn't a joke. It was a lot of hard work. And I was assuring the minister that the steps that lead to the postgraduate programs still remain. So we have not, some people thought that we had thrown away the polytechnics and now we are doing universities. That's not the case. We didn't think it was right to tell anyone that, oh, you can, if you are studying a technical subject, the highest you could go was an HND. We thought that wasn't fair. If the person has the talent, has the interest to go further, why can't the person go? So we created a space for people to, to fly as high as they could go, and not to have the government itself capping, their wings. We thought that was wrong, and that was also not helping us with our own economic development, because it's about the quality of the human resource that will drive that economy. And so if you don't train them to the highest level, it means that you have decided that you are not going to go further. And we didn't think that was the way to go. I hear you on discipline. I think that that one is everybody's responsibility. We raise them in the homes. We speak a certain way that sometimes makes our young people feel that it's okay. So we all need to be mindful and support them to know that a certain behavior is not very helpful, even to yourself as an individual going forward. As to a young person going to a class with a cutlass, I don't know. I know you're going to do agric and all of that, but I don't think that is why they are going with a cutlass. And how about the gun? Are they going hunting? None of this is helpful. To damage yourself, damage other people. That's what the school, is meant for. It's a place where you can share ideas. It's a place where you can agree, you can disagree. There's nothing wrong with it. All of these help your mind to open. So it's not about force, it's not about yelling, it's not about a loud voice, it's not about brawn. So we need to help them to understand. And we also need to support the teachers. And the teachers themselves also need to be supported in how they can dispense discipline. So there'll be peace and quiet in a learning environment.
Ghana buying any US buying assigned Tiasia Pama, say US mino, womo e pamo, adishibi, if from my mua. Na se mu if West Africa say ya wo do ba Ghana na santi asia pam no eno no nyamfo Samuel abuginapo agina dom kuma no anamu akaseti a o chese san hihye no enamra kwanso
hihye bi a ya ban ene America man ya ban akoye no kire se ye chi bibini bi a wa America na America aban adwenkyerɛ ne sɛ bibini no nkrataa a ɔde te man nim no enye papa ye na free man nim a Ghana aban agye atum sɛ yɛbɛgye ɔmo ama ɔmo bɛtena Ghana hanom na mene mo kasa yi nipa dodoɔ bi aba yɛde nipa dodoɔ bi afiri America man nim aba Ghana ha a ɔmo te Ghana ha mene mo kasa yi na yɛse yɛde dodoɔ abɛsa so aka ho aba na asɛm a yɛka nyinaa ne sɛ wohwɛ Ghana yɛmmra pon a broni yɛfrɛ no constitution na article 75 kyerɛ sɛ aban Ghana aban ne amanɔne aban foforɔ bi ɛkɔ yɛn hyehyɛ biara ɛyɛ sɛ Ghana aban ɛde saa hyehyɛ no ɛbɛto mmarahyɛbadwa na mmarahyɛbadwafoɔ yɛn pensen mu na yɛndi mu kita ho na yɛn pene so sɛ nhyehyɛ na aban na kɔyɛ no ɛyɛ nhyehyɛ a ɛbɛboa yɛ man no anaasɛ nhyehyɛ a ɛmmoa yɛ man na mmerɛ bi mo bɛkae sɛ ɔmampani Mahama aban ankasa kɔyɛ saa nhyehyɛ bi ɔmo ne America man ama Ghana foɔ so gyina sɛ nka ɛsɛ ba mmarahyɛbadwa no ama ebinom de kɔ Supreme Court ama Supreme Court foɔ ɛde to dwa sɛ abere biara Ghana aban ne amanɔne aban ɛbɛyɛ nhyehyɛ biara no saa nhyehyɛ no ɛyɛ sɛ ɔmo de ba ɛbɛto mmarahyɛbadwa mu na mmarahyɛbadwamfoɔ yɛn pensen mu na yɛnyi ntum anaasɛ yɛnyɛ ntum ɛno no da hɔ a mmara no Supreme Court ɔmo ahyehyɛ ato hɔ koraa aban a ɛtwa mu na ano ya ɔmampani Akufo-Addo aban ɛne US foɔ ya so kɔyɛ nhyehyɛ bi ɛnam deɛ Supreme Court foɔ kaeɛ ɛne deɛ mmara pɔn no so ka ne nti no Akufo-Addo aban ne de saa nhyehyɛ ne ba parliament ama parliament ɛde yɛn nsa to so sɛ ɛyɛ ampa ɛyɛ ade papa yɛmfa nyɛ adwuma na ne ya ɔmampani Mahama aban asa akɔyɛ nhyehyɛ yi kyerɛ sɛ yɛde America foɔ kɔkye obiara wɔ America bibini bi a wɔde ne bɛba ha no saa nhyehyɛ ne yɛmfa mba parliament ɛne yɛsrɛ aban ne sɛ ebehia sɛ aban ne de bɛba parliament na yɛdi mmara no so na yɛdi deɛ Supreme Court so aka no so na ɛno kɔba saa yɛbɛnya akwanya na yɛbisa nsɛm na yɛapɛnsɛm mu na yɛde de bibia to yie a ɛbɛboa yɛn man no yɛdie nti ɛno ana ɛnɛ yɛn minority foɔ yɛka akyerɛ aban ne sɛ ɔnhwɛ na ɔntu saa anamɔ no
Keteke adwumayɛfo ate aban no so atua esanse be abosomi dumienu nie ɔmaketua emai we aka ho bi ama TUC mpanyifo ese saa atuatua ɔmate no ɔmo ne ɔmo yɛ adwen na ɔmo de ɔmo ho agim kopem sɛ aban betua ɔmo ka no memo ɔmo enko adwuma
oha ena sam tete aba asam ni nan de yen nuanom a wɔwɔ Ghana Railway Company bosom kokro do ebien that is 12 months once on count da once anka akotua the random breeze at Ghana na se bosum do ebien na se once anka akotua wotu akwakrot na wontu awka easy obre atete aworija ewu yardom ato enuanom na wo edwuma railways no do TUC yanba in railways TUC kra wote no railway for one asase do nti antena ho madam Ohawi or ho yan members yenretu ade work home TUC is made of solidarity. Or then you support one where Combia Wanamdo, Mo ye won't feed them or him. Ya prebiara busum de beni, ya troka ma ban, ya trauma many says. Ye biara de aban better in Sufre up to now. Aban unte in Sufre. Mo ya who on point there. Aban support of them railways because railways no. Brown Casawa on Ejumano, now ban support one 70% of their salaries. Strangely, Aban Aradro Dam support them so. Ntama hotel no aka railway from Edmayin number 1 to Edmayin last. Ya tutu asra ban the dam press conference in we abre. Otse yanka pe e kon bi aba for the non fado no ntu e workers no 112 month salary no on for one. Ya to Aban nkra onye eduma wura nkra the 30th of September busu na ewie that's Aban ontu 12 months no for me na. Ya bako strike. The strike no so behind hobotu na was stop. TUC support them strike na yen railway affiliates no pede work on. TUC free na
Abusafo ebeda na ye ho age aboafo nkrato e ba David Oforisafo ene mpanyfo betena se na omode nkomo twetwe for man mu atoam so David ene nkomo yi mode ebe fa he
se na me kan ye no hun se Ghana ban na America abanya santi asiapam West Africa say America for a pamu bi from ne man mu a oba Ghana say ansana Ghana ye de
nako baby ofri
don kuma na kasetia e be di hu nkomo won say bambo nsem security na police for so ene IGP abe kasa say akonferenfo a omo ekọ bank so
ehọ na ehia me se utie eye press conference a omo ye free CID aso eye David omo call bank ahodo be enso ana sem wotwe ye nti police for entimi enya ho mpopoye ana so omo entimi anche na omo free bank we omo free Kumase e be say call Central region ebi ba omo sign ba Eastern region sabere ni nyana police for ne yeden
yami adu say the intelligence omachi emudu nti ehun ko e ba bedi
na e bambo ne de e say a police for he no mu miemu e de maye go say akrofo for etimi ebowura bank eko fesika e di free ho nye bank baako nye bank mienu bank ahodo obe so se nwotwe
na ehu
na omatimi ayi operation we nyina san na etimi ache omo a o say mere bi na bullion van so na omo de asi na bambo efa bullion van omo miemu yeah say omo share say bullion van nyina enye bulletproof na say omo timi bowura bank omo sha say free rural bank enche na banks akisi
is there the IGP the next firm
sure Ebusafo we ne nsema hold on na David Oforisafo ene impenfo betena se na omden komotwetwe no afa me sure nko be bi etwe ho sima ye ba nkomotwetwe no betos